Hey guys, Insomnia here with some more AFK Arena. Today we're back on the pay-to-win account, and patch 1.50 will be dropping tomorrow, which will bring us the Chaos Bringer, a brand new artifact that is for the warrior class. But the question is the Chaos Bringer any good? So we're going to take a look at it today and see if it is good according to Shizzam from Cloud. He has a brand new guide up on Reddit. If you have not checked it out, absolutely amazing content, which we're going to cover in just a minute. Very, very cool to see. Let's go ahead and we'll get into the guide. As you can see here, the brand new Chaos Bringer, two abilities. The first time it is used does 180% AoE damage to the enemy, permanently raises a hero's haste and life leech. That is really the important part of the artifact. The haste is going to allow the heroes to actually regenerate energy faster, and the life leech is going to keep them alive. As you can see at the 3 stars unlock, first 2 times the hero's ultimate ability is dealt, dealing 220% AoE damage, haste by 15 points, and life leech by 12. Absolutely crazy good artifact, as you can see here, with the ability. On testing, this artifact provided more damage over the course of 90 seconds for Riz and Soren, so both fights, then both the eye on Saurus, more reliable than the 5-star eye on the haste. This is going to be the go-to relic. So when I ask you the question, is the Chaos Bringer a good relic? Absolutely. Very useful for Saurus, very useful for Isolde. Increased damage on Warden or Warwick, Baden, Astrilda, triggering their ults more times because of the haste that it's providing. So this artifact is going to be the big game changer for the warrior class, which absolutely love it. I cannot wait to use it, which it will drop tomorrow. Go ahead, go to the Trial of God, pick this one up, because all the warriors will use it. I want to see it specifically on Rigby because I have been running them on my Lightbearer account, which is very cool. We also break down the Barricade. As you can see, 2 heroes that it could be useful. Only thing is, it is very situational. This is the tanking relic that came out a little bit ago. When the ally with the highest combat rating, excluding oneself, suffers fatal damage, the damage is ignored. Meaning that if the hero takes fatal damage, it will create them a shield. If a hero does not take fatal damage, this artifact will not do anything, essentially. As you can see, it does have the similar effect of Hendrik with his ability to actually shield. It is also the same as Arthur's ability with his 3-piece furniture. So the Barricade, an artifact that looked really good on paper, had a very cool ability. Most of the time, it is not used at all. Most players have not used it. Even further endgame, there's not really much use for this unless your heroes are taking massive AoE damage, which usually is not the point due to the crowd control that we have in AFK Arena. So looking at the rest of the artifacts, so looking at Dura's Grace, as you can see, we have 3 heroes that use this. Quite useful for dodge tanks and heroes that benefit from shields, but will drop off once you obtain other tanking relics. So remember, Dura's Grace is the very first relic we see. Essentially, at this point, not many heroes, if any heroes, are going to use it. The vitality would be a lot stronger on most of these heroes. The eye would be good on Titus. The eye is pretty good on Kaz. So essentially, Dura's Grace could be very situational, but overall probably won't be used very much. As you can see, Dura's Eye, which is pretty much every hero that we have, damage dealer. At 5-star, this provides arguably the best damage output, recommended to be placed on any non-warrior carry. Because remember, with the new Chaos Bringer, that is going to be the warrior artifact. That is the only one you need to use. That is the priority. So any non-warrior carry. Prior to 5, this will outperform the Blade only if the hero has high crit rate, which a majority of the heroes you see that Shizzam has recommended do usually carry a very high crit rate ratio. If the fight is expected to last some time, the Blade could outperform, But at that point, it's probably very, very minimal for the performance over the Eye. So that is kind of the go-to artifact that we have seen is Dura's Eye. Which brings us to Dura's Call, primarily used to boost alt-focused heroes. As you can see there, this is the only artifact with diminishing return, so avoid equipping it on more than 2 heroes. We have said that since this artifact has come out. More than 2 heroes, the diminishing return is not worth the return that you're going to get because it actually has a 15% debuff or 15% reduction in the effectiveness of the ability. Most of the time, as you see, even here with the God tier comp, what I do is I will put the call on the twins, I will put the call on Rowan, and then for Aziz, I will actually put the Vitality. That way increases his survivability because I am not going to run 3 Dura's Calls together. Dura's Call on Thorin usually shouldn't have a reason for it just because he's can ult with the amount of damage he takes and also the damage output he's putting. Could be situational to put on there if you're really, really pushing for the Thorin cheese, trying to get the double ult off so he can stay alive and actually make it effectively cheese. As we know, Nemisu and Rain, both really strong support, as well as Tassie. Dura's Call, definitely the go-to for them. Dura's Drape was actually a very, very interesting one. Benefits heroes which rely on health regeneration with 30 SI Mahira. Also benefits greatly from the artifact. So remember, her plus 30, when she is at full health, it will actually turn her attacks into energy or her regen into energy. Very, very powerful. And the health regen appears to interact with Daemon's health stealing his blood shield ability by adding additional health each time it is cast. The Drape allows Daemon's hit point pool to snowball as the fight progresses to the point he can tank a fully charged Sophia ult at 100 plus level deficiencies. This I was absolutely shocked by. I have never put the Dura's Drape onto Daemon, but it is a very, very effective artifact to use on him because of the scaling, especially as he's using Blood Shield multiple times throughout the fight. Mahira, I've used it on. Almas and Namora, I've used it on because of the health regeneration that they do have. But Daemon, I was very shocked. I definitely want to try it next time that we get into our campaign push, see how far we can actually get with Daemon with Dura's Drape on there. Very, very cool. Dura's Blade. This has been the artifact that a lot of players are always go to. Provides good attack rating for long battles and most suited for damage dealers that can scale with time. Mainly Talene and Shamira are the 2. This is outperformed by haste, so Chaos Bringer should be a go-to relic for warriors. Again, Dura's Blade kind of takes a backseat when it comes to Dura's Eye, which increases the attack speed, which in turn increases the energy regeneration. Similar to the Chaos Bringer that's coming, with the haste that it brings, warriors will always use that because not only the haste, it does bring a life leech effect. Again, increasing the survivability for the warrior class, but also putting out a lot more damage because of the haste that it is bringing. Which brings us to the Chalice of Vitality. This was the Vitality I was talking about earlier. Generally, this provides the best survivability and is the go-to tank relic in most cases. Outperformed situationally by the Barric, the Drape, and the Grace. So the Vitality is usually what you're going to use. I use it on Lucius. I use it on Scrag. I use it on, as you can see, all of the heroes here. I use it on Torn. I use it on Grez. The go-to tanking relic. This is the one, once you have it unlocked, it increases your defense and it increases your health and it gives a health regeneration factor. So where the tanking classes up front will be taking more damage, this will offset some of the damage they take. As you can see, our final artifact with this Dura's Conviction, just Flora by herself. This is outperformed by other damage artifacts, can be useful as an artifact once all other damage artifacts are exhausted on heroes that attack from range. So I think Shizzam just threw Flora in there, but essentially if you have the artifacts fully unlocked and with team comps, you can equip the artifact essentially on 8 heroes when it's on 5 stars. especially since they're coming out with class-specific artifacts. I believe a lot of the original artifacts are going to be replaced, just like we see with the Chaos Bringer. We'll have to see what's coming in the future with artifacts, but it'll be very, very interesting to see exactly where the damage scales and how high it scales from the artifacts that they're coming out for the class specifics. As you can see, a couple author note from Shizzam. Always use your artifacts if there are heroes you are using that aren't sure which to equip based on the descriptions above, or if you run out of artifact slots, equip artifacts priorities based on Chaos Bringers for warriors, Eye, Blade, Conviction for the damage dealers, Chalice, Barricade, Drape, Grace for tanks. Remember, as you push further and further into the campaign, you fight 2 teams, you fight 3 teams, 4 teams, 5 teams, you're going to run out of artifacts. Until they come out with more class-specific artifacts, you're going to run out of artifacts to equip essentially bigger and bigger teams. If you have all artifacts at 5 stars, you are unlikely to use Grace at all, and Conviction and Drape only very rarely, again, specific situations. For support, the Call is usually the most used, but avoid stacking copies due to the diminishing returns. Less than 2 copies. Do not use 3 calls in one battle, just because of the diminishing returns are not worth it any longer. For Twisted Realm and Guild bosses, the fight lasts the full 90 seconds. So in general, Blade outperforms Eye for damage dealers, which, as a side note, Chaos Bringer is still the best for warriors. So all of your warriors are going to use the Chaos Bringer, as you can see there below. So in the Riz and Soren fights, the Chaos Bringer is going to be the go-to, which I'm assuming it is going to be the exact same when it comes to the Twisted Realm bosses. Even though at this point we haven't tried it yet, it is going to be, I'm assuming, the go-to. As you can see here, for Riz and Soren fights, Chaos Bringer is the strongest artifact for the warriors. For other damage dealers, the Blade would result in a better attack rating. So sticking with that, the non-warrior heroes, which is very, very powerful. As you can see, the best artifact for warriors, of course, the Chaos Bringer. That is going to be the one to replace all of the other artifacts when it comes to the warriors specifically, which is going to be interesting with the Abyssal Expedition coming up, just how much this artifact is improved and how much damage we are going to get out of some of the bigger hitters like Saurus and Isolde. As you can see there, from the non-warriors, they do have the Blade. For your Talines, Lycas, Cecilia's, Brutus, increased damage for heroes that need attack rating more than the haste. We do have Lorzen, we have Rose and Rain there, Blade or Eye depending on what you're running, as well as the Call for possible heroes there. We do have the Eye, heroes that deal damage or buffs predominantly based on the abilities and enemy stats. Which again, there we see Belinda, we see Grez, we see Damon, we see Mahira, and then of course our support heroes, which are Rowan and the twins when it comes to these 2 bosses specifically. So looking at the team comp, we have the same comp for both bosses, running Saurus with the Chaos Bringer, which is going to supercharge his haste and his life leech, which is going to allow him to attack faster. Plus 30 signature item on Soren will heal faster, allowing you to max damage output. As you can see there, Chaos Bringer as well on Warwick. So putting it on Warwick is going to allow him to attack faster, again, doing more damage, keeping his defensive debuff up. Taline, of course, we do have the Blade scaling, 90-second battle. The Blade on Taline will do a ton of damage. And then for Rain, we have the Call. The Call, because of the attack speed increase, which is very, very strong. And then, of course, the twins, we do, or excuse me, not the Call. That is the Eye, not the Call. The Call is actually on the twins, as we see over here. Very, very important to build the twins. This is why I said out of the event, the Magician's Hat, get copies of the twins. You use the twins in both fights. Use the twins in a lot of the campaign. A lot of the Abyssal Expedition uses the twins. A lot of the Twisted Essence bosses utilize the twins as well. Their utility is very, very high when it comes to building them. And I would highly, highly recommend getting copies of the twins ASAP because, again, they are utilized in so many formations, in so many places in this game. Short of building Talene, after Talene is built, go ahead and focus on the twins because, again, they are going to be the go-to hero for so many aspects of the game and how high their utility is with the haste they bring. Very, very important to have them built. So that is the guide from Shizzam. Absolutely love the content. Cannot wait to see tomorrow when the Chaos Bringer actually drops. Run through the Trial of God, unlock the artifact, and see how much damage we can do in the Riz and the Sorin boss fights that are coming up, as well as the Abyssal Expedition. Remember, the Abyssal Expedition is coming. The Misty Valley is coming. We have Pippa dropping tomorrow, as well as the Bountiful Trials. So there's a lot of stuff that is coming right at the conclusion of the Magician's Hat. So very, very cool. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Awesome, awesome information. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Amazing guide again from Shizzam. I'll go ahead and put a link to it right below the video. That way you guys can check it out yourself if you have some questions. Really, really powerful information. If you know what artifacts to put on what heroes, it makes it a lot better, especially because now they are not sharing artifacts. We don't have one hero to one artifact. We can actually equip up to 8 heroes per artifact, which makes a huge, huge difference because you don't have to switch between them. Now, if Lilith could just provide us a way to easily swap our gear, I would be absolutely ecstatic. We've been asking for it for months. But again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.